A gentle journey, recognizing the signs. When a loved one is nearing life's final chapter, you know, friends, there's something about growing older that changes the way you see the world. You start noticing little things, the way the light slants through the window in the afternoon, the sound of a grandchild's laughter, the quiet strength in an old friend's smile. And if you've lived as long as I have, you've also noticed something else. The way time leaves its marks on the people we love. I've sat at enough kitchen tables with neighbors, held enough hands in hospital rooms, and said enough goodbyes to know this. The end of life rarely comes suddenly. More often, it whispers. The body has its own language, its own way of telling us when it's growing weary. Trouble is, most folks don't know how to listen until it's too late. Today, I want to share with you 5 gentle signs that often appear in that last precious year. Not to frighten you, but to prepare you. Because when we see these changes coming, we can respond with love instead of panic, with presence instead of regret. The growing stillness, deep fatigue. There's tired, and then there's tired. The kind where just buttoning a shirt feels like climbing a mountain. Where a conversation that used to last hours now ends after 10 minutes because the energy's gone, like a candle burning low. This isn't laziness, it's biology. The heart, that faithful old pump, starts working harder to do less. Oxygen doesn't travel like it once did. Every system's conserving energy for what matters most, keeping the lights on just a little longer. What hurts most isn't the naps or the quiet. It's watching someone who once built barns or danced at weddings now struggle to lift a teacup. But here's what I've learned. Our dignity isn't in what we can do, but in how we're treated. Pull your chair closer. Let the stories come in fragments. Hold the silence when words are too heavy. The drifting mind. Cognitive changes. Memory's a funny thing. My old friend Ed could tell you what he had for breakfast on his first day of school in 1946. But last Tuesday, gone like morning fog. Confusion near the end isn't always Alzheimer's. It's the brain, that magnificent 3-pound universe, starting to power down section by section. You might notice sentences that trail off like a winding country road, familiar faces that suddenly seem strange, a once punctual person losing track of days, and the hardest part? The withdrawal. They might stop playing cards or refuse visitors, not because they don't care, but because the world's become too bright, too loud, too much. Here's how to help. Don't correct, don't quiz, just be there. If they think you're their sister from 50 years ago, play along. The truth matters less than the love behind it. The weakening shield. Frequent illnesses. An old body's like an ancient castle. The walls that once stood strong start letting cracks show. A cold turns into pneumonia. A tiny scrape won't heal. Bladder infections come one after another, like waves on the shore. This isn't bad luck. It's the immune system, those loyal soldier cells, finally laying down their arms. Antibiotics might help for a while, but eventually, the infections outpace the medicine. When this starts happening, it's time to shift from fighting to comforting. Keep them warm, keep them clean, and pay attention to the hidden signs. Sometimes confusion is the only fever an old body can muster. The changing rhythm, breath and pulse. Breath is the first thing we celebrate when we're born, and the last thing we surrender when we leave. In those final months, you'll notice changes. Breathing that's shallow, like a bird's. Long pauses between breaths. Don't panic, this is normal. Cool hands and feet as circulation slows. The medical folks have fancy names for this. Cheney-Stokes, modeling. But what matters isn't the terminology. It's knowing that when these signs appear, your role isn't to fix, but to accompany. Raise the head of the bed, dab lavender water on their temples, play their favorite hymns, and when the breathing grows uneven, match your own breath to theirs. A silent "I'm here" with every rise and fall. Closing thoughts, the gift of presence. We don't get to choose how our stories end, but we do get to choose how we show up for the last pages. When you notice these signs in someone you love, don't deny. Acknowledge what's happening. Don't overwhelm. Small comforts mean the most. Do listen to their words, their silence, even their confusion. And remember this, dear one, growing old isn't a failure. It's a remarkable feat of endurance. The wrinkles, the forgetfulness, the slowing down, these are the medals of a life well lived. So pull up a chair, take their hand, and when the time comes, may your goodbye be whispered not in grief, but in gratitude. I saw you. I loved you. Rest now. Thank you for listening. And if this touched your heart today, pass it on. We could all use a little more tenderness in this world.